get my brain ready for 8 hours of torture. Hey friends, hey cryptic creatures, welcome back to another video. Today is a very chatty get ready with me. So there are timestamps below so you can skip ahead if there's anything you're not interested in. Bobo! You want to be in the video? There you go, you're in the video. And if you are going to watch this video, I recommend watching it while getting ready as well so we could get ready together because it's probably going to be a long one. And here we are, let's get into the video. It's Monday. I really don't feel like getting out of bed. I really don't feel like working, but I have to. So I thought might as well just make a video while I'm getting ready. And I've had some looks in mind that hopefully I have enough time for. It's about to be 7. I have to start work at 8. So I don't have very long to finish getting ready. And I highly doubt I'll be able to do anything with my hair. Maybe I'll slap a wig on because you thought my Black Friday mess was bad. I have a depression quarantine knot right now that is insane. There is not just one, but there's definitely a big one in here that I have to get out. So the chances of me doing anything with my hair today are minimal because will probably barely just have enough time to do my makeup. It's been a week. Let me just say that. It's been a week. I feel like a lot of you who watch my channel, that I watch your channel, I feel like a lot of us like do it for fun. So it's not really about like the numbers, the algorithm, but like that's kind of always there, I think, for most people. Basically, I guess what I'm trying to say is like this video, I feel like almost like I shouldn't be making a video like this because it's what you call selfish content. Like I'm not really offering anything, if that makes sense. Like I'm not teaching you how to do anything. I'm not particularly focused on being entertaining, but maybe I guess what I'm trying to offer is connection, companionship. However, it's very focused on me. And so I think that's what they mean by selfish content. And you know, making videos about you isn't necessarily selfish. Like if you're showing someone, like for example, like hauls, that's not selfish content because you're showing people what's out there, what you could buy, what it looks like, what it might look like on someone's body type that's similar. It's kind of like style inspiration, you know what I mean? So it's still offering some value. I guess the value I can offer in this video is just relatability, maybe, hopefully, and maybe some like words of wisdom. But I'm aware that this isn't like the best content that I could put out there. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. But I do have a lot lined up, but I still am focused on putting out one video a week. So sometimes the videos that I put out, like I just don't have time because like I work 40 hours and I'm exhausted. I think typically because I just find my job so draining and soul-sucking. It's a great job and I'm so thankful to have it, especially now, but I still low-key hate it. I really do. Like I dread waking up in the morning on days when I have to work. In December, I was lucky enough to be able to have a lot of days off, which I hadn't had in a long time, and it was amazing. And I'm like, this is what life could be like. But yeah, no, like most people, I have to work, and like most people, I'm lucky if I get paid well. I'm lucky if I make a livable wage, which I definitely do. And so there's that. So that's why I don't plan on leaving my job anytime soon. But at the same time, it's absolutely soul-sucking. So after a 40-hour work week, I just don't feel like I have any energy for anything else, honestly. And I'm trying to change that. Like I'm trying to see, like, is it a mindset? What is it that I can change to make it different, you know? At the same time, oh man, I didn't even put on any primer, and I bought a new primer that I've been wanting to try, which is probably not good for me, but it's by e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer. I wanted to try that, but oh well, I didn't. Probably better for my skin anyways. So I'm going to try different things. Like, okay, so like for example, last week was basically the first week of January, right? Right after resolutions, right after goal setting. And I was like, I'm gonna wake up early and I'm gonna work out. That's gonna be the first thing I do. And then I'm gonna shower and like do a quick get ready and then work. Well, that didn't work out because I was dreading working out so much that I didn't want to get out of bed. So I just ended up staying in bed pretty much until I had to get up just to like quickly get ready and then like make coffee and start working. So this week I was like, okay, this week I'm gonna wake up early and I'm going to work on YouTube stuff instead, and then I'll work out afterward because by then I'll already have done something personal for myself. I would have gotten work out of the way, so there's nothing left to do really except for like workout, self-care, you know, stuff like that. So this is the first week I'm trying that, and so far so good. I got up earlier. Ideally I'd like to wake up at 5 because I have to start work at 8. So in order to really have time to do much of anything, I think I have to wake up at 5. Today I woke up at 6:30. It's barely 7:06. So, you know, doing okay, filming a video. But yeah, hopefully this works out better than trying to force myself to work out in the morning, because that was not working. I was just not getting out of bed. But yeah, another thing, moving on to the next topic, which is health, and moving on to, I guess, eyes, so I can get some inspiration. I want to do some different colors because I always go either neutrals, smokies, or pinks. I think I want to try green. I'm kind of feeling green, so let's try some green shades. Okay, so moving on to the next topic, health, which is very much tied into energy. So 2020 was a wild year. We all know it. It was wild for everyone in one way, shape, or form, or many ways, shapes, or forms. So, okay, long story short, I just had like a lot of health, I guess you could say, issues, even though on paper there was nothing wrong with me, which made it even crazier. So basically what happened is in March, I thought I got coronavirus. Like right before it became a big thing, like right before there was a lockdown. I thought I got it, and I either got it from, well, I could have gotten it from anywhere, truthfully, because it was out there, nobody was taking precautions. They had the first confirmed case in San Diego County, where I live, right before I felt like I got it, right? And it was the weirdest thing. So, you know, just that week, I had gone to SeaWorld with a friend, and it was a bad idea because, you know, even though we weren't on lockdown, there was kind of like this talk about there's this virus out there, it could be spreading. And I remember even saying to my friend, like, hey, like, do you think we should go to SeaWorld when there's this virus? And she was like, well, I don't care if you don't care. And I did kind of care, but I just didn't want to like be the wrecker of the day and be like, oh, I'm wrecking our plans. I should have, in hindsight, I should have, but we just didn't, it wasn't serious yet, you know. So I was just like, yeah, I guess we could just go. So we did, and that's one place I went. I also went out with some coworkers the night before lockdown to a Thai restaurant. I really could have gotten it from anywhere or anyone. I could have gotten it from work, you know, if I did get it. So here's what happened. I just had trouble breathing. I had trouble breathing, and it was painful. Like my back hurt, and like it was just so hard to breathe. I didn't really have any other symptoms. I didn't get the flu. I think maybe the only other symptom I had was like a slight fever and like chills. So I went to the ER because I was having trouble breathing, and it was painful. And I had been having trouble breathing for a few days before I decided I gotta go to the ER because it started to hurt, right? I was like, this is just not normal. I was like, I don't know what's going on. I don't know if it's COVID, but like this is not normal. So I went to the ER. Basically, they told me that I couldn't have COVID because I didn't go to China, even though they already had confirmed cases in San Diego County. They're like, no, we can't give you the test because you didn't go to China. And I'm like, but I went to freaking SeaWorld. There's people from all over the world, and there's already a confirmed case in San Diego. Like, what do you mean you won't give me the test if I haven't been to China? So that was frustrating. And then they just proceeded to tell me, it's just anxiety. It's just anxiety. There's nothing wrong with you. And like, the whole thing was really frustrating. So I just went home, and they basically were like, just call us if anything gets worse. And after like about 2 weeks, I got totally back to normal. And then 2 weeks later, I had trouble breathing again, but it wasn't as severe as it was before. And I've been saying this a lot since this whole experience with me started. If you don't think about your breathing is totally normal. But if you're thinking about it, there's something wrong. So that's how I felt. It was like, it wasn't like, you know, the most out of breath that you could be, or like extreme shortness of breath, but it's like I just thought about my breathing more, and it was just like I was aware of my breathing, whereas like before it was just something that happened, right? Unless I was like exercising or like going up a hill. But so, you know, there was that, and then months and months went by. And for some reason in August it got worse again. So I went back to the ER, and same thing. They told me there's nothing wrong with you. You just have anxiety. They did another x-ray on my chest. They did an x-ray the first time. They did another one, and they're like, you have nothing. And then I swear I went back again because I was like, there's something wrong. And again, they were like, there's nothing wrong with you. You don't have blood clots, this and that. Because I was like, there's something. You know, I don't know if it's COVID, but maybe I have blood clots. Like, can you check? I can't. I'm having trouble breathing. And they just again said it was anxiety, which it wasn't. Okay, I know for a fact because I was coughing. Like, there's just like other stuff going on. I barely got insurance like 2 years ago. So I had a primary doctor that I'd only seen one time. and I made an appointment with her, and of course it was virtual, and she looked at the x-rays that they took while I was at the ER, and she's like, well, it looks like there could be a little something, maybe you have pneumonia. And I was like, really? Really? Okay, let me focus on my eyes so I don't take forever. Oh, I do have several greens. Okay, so then my doctor was like at the x-rays, and she was like, well, there could be a little something, maybe you have pneumonia. I'm gonna prescribe you some antibiotics and see if that helps. So she did prescribe me antibiotics, and it did help until I stopped taking. I mean, I took my full dose, right? Because I am very aware that if you're prescribed antibiotics and if you don't take the full dose that they prescribe, whatever you have could come back worse, right? So I didn't stop taking my meds. I took them till they ran out. But then once they ran out, it got worse again. So that was just really weird and really didn't seem to make any sense. So then they gave me an inhaler. I talked to several doctors, and they were like, you need to go in person, because through my insurance plan, like, you can talk to doctors on the phone and nurses on the phone. So I finally talked to like a few after all this, and they were like, you need to make an appointment in person. And then of course, when you go to make an appointment in person, they ask you, have you had any shortness of breath? And if you have, then you can't go in person. So I was like stuck in this cycle for a long time, right? For months. Until finally I just started lying when they were like, do you have any shortness of breath? I was like, no, I don't. Because I was just like, I need to get in there, you know? I've had this for months, and I kept getting tested for COVID, and it kept coming back negative. So yeah, it was just a crazy year. So then finally I get an appointment in person with my doctor, and she's like, well, you seem fine, you know, but this has been going on for months now. Now let's like start looking into more specific things that could be going on. She said that I had to schedule myself to get a bunch of tests along with the echo. So I thought that was all in one. That was my mistake. So I scheduled the tests, and then when I went, it was just like a bunch of blood tests, and I was like, oh, isn't there something else I need to be doing? And they're like, no, that's it. And I was confused. So then I went and looked on my online thing, and I saw I had an email from the cardiology department saying that I had to schedule to get an echo, and I was like, crap, because by then like a month had already passed, and by then it was like middle of December. So all of this timeline was from like March 2020 to December 2020. This is how long all this has been going on, and I still don't really have answers. And like this week my breathing has been bothering me again, because it kind of comes and goes. Like, it's never totally normal since March, but there's definitely times when it's worse, and times when I'm like worried about it, I guess, if that makes sense, and times when I'm like, am I gonna die in my sleep, you know? Like, I literally feel that sometimes. So all that said but last night I was feeling bad, and I took my inhaler, and it actually helped, because sometimes I use the inhaler and it doesn't help. So it's just like, I just don't know. But last night it was getting pretty bad, and I used it and it helped, so that was good. But anyway, so I finally went to go schedule an echo, and they did not have an appointment until January 26th. So I was looking for an appointment around December 20th maybe, which I know was right before the holidays, so I wasn't expecting to get in right away. But they didn't have anything until January 26th of 2021. So I'm still waiting for that appointment. In the meantime, I started having pains in my left leg. They were kind of like sharp pains in my foot and my ankle and my calf and my thigh and my hip. They were like these 4 points. And sometimes it was all at once, sometimes it was 1 point, but it was kind of always the same spot. And I was thinking, like, what is going on? Because I was like trying to walk my dog, and it hurt so bad that I had to stop. Like, I couldn't even walk him. So and then I was like doing Christmas shopping or something, and I went to Walmart, and at first it just hurt so bad I could hardly like move. But then as I was like going through Walmart, it got better, and it went away for a few days. But I had been doing research, and I was like, first thing I thought, because after all of this that's been going on, I have had the thought, like, what if this is related to my heart? You know, what if I'm having heart issues? Because heart issues can cause lung issues, and lung issues can cause heart issues, and like, I don't know, our bodies are just crazy. So I was thinking that, like, what if, you know? And so I researched, like, is there any link to pain in your foot to your heart? And there is, and it's this thing called PAD, and basically what it means is like the arteries in your foot or in your leg are clogged. Maybe to varying degrees, maybe not 100%, maybe there's like 50% closure, maybe 70. It could be different, you know, person to person. But basically that's not a good thing, right? Like, basically that's saying, get your shit together, turn your life around, stop eating crap, basically. And so that's why, you know, health was kind of like high on my resolution list this year, along with like weight loss, which I'll talk about in a little bit, and I'll trigger warn all that stuff because I know not everyone wants to hear about weight loss stuff. But for me, it is very much connected to health. And I'm not saying that my weight is making me unhealthy, but the things that I'm eating that are making me my weight are also, I think, causing me health issues, such as clogging my arteries and stuff, because I don't eat healthy. That's the thing, you know. I mean, it's one thing to, you know, get fat eating sweet potatoes, right? It's like I eat 3,000 calories of sweet potatoes a day. Like, I don't know if that would be good for you or not, but it's certainly healthier than 3,000 calories of pizza. Do you know what I mean? So just in the health sense, I haven't really been healthy. And I know that, you know, I do. I am aware. I am aware that I have not been healthy for a long time. For probably like my whole life, basically, except for maybe a few years when I was vegan. But even then, I just ate like ramen and Takis, and yeah, I pretty much haven't been healthy. And I used to drink a lot. So I've had a lot of years of my life, most of the years of my life, if not all of the years of my life, that I've been unhealthy. I'm hopelessly addicted to cheese, which can definitely clog your arteries. So that's what I'm going through. I'm 31. I'm gonna be 32 in July. And so part of me is like, you're too young to be, you know, having these issues. Like, even if you eat like crap, you know, that's not supposed to affect you till you're like, you know, 600 pounds or 50 years old. But that's a myth. Like, all of that is a myth. It's not about your weight. It's not about your age. It's like about your health. And if you've been eating junk for like 3 decades, well, maybe that's just enough time to do some damage, you know what I mean? And it's not like I'm hoping for that to be the case. I don't want there to be anything wrong with me, but this has just been going on for so long throughout this year that I just want an answer, you know? I want an answer. Because every time I go, they're like, there's nothing wrong with you, but I feel it and it affects my life because it also causes fatigue. So that's another thing, like that's how this whole health subject came up, was like, I want to make more videos and focus more on content. And I could, but sometimes I'm just so damn tired, you know? A lot of times I'm just tired all the time. I think changing my diet obviously is something I need to do for my health. Also, changing my diet affects my energy levels, so that could be helpful. And that's what I want to focus on this year and part of my goals. So that'll take me to the next topic, which is goals. And let me see what I'm doing with my makeup though first, because I want to make sure I'm actually getting things done. Okay, so we got some green shades going on. I'm gonna put another lighter green shade here. I don't think I have any virtual meetings today at work, so I'm gonna try something. Oh, actually that might make me look literally sick. I was gonna see like what does it look like to use a green highlighter, but maybe I'll just look ill. So yeah, so that's everything I've been going through medically and how it's been affecting me. It's been affecting me in a lot of ways, but one of them is just not having energy, and that's affecting like my mental health because I want to do more and I want to do this and I want to do that, but I just like don't have the energy. I'm feeling like fatigued, you know, and exhausted. I just tried something. See, this is what makes makeup fun. You can really actually do whatever the hell you want. And I just use the shimmery green to do that. Oh yeah, so how has this first week in January been going? Well, I mean, it's been going okay. I just feel like literally something happened to affect most of my goals or like intentions. So for example, one of my intentions was to be less judgmental, and I just felt like I had more to judge. The universe is like, bam, let me give you like all of these situations where you feel like you want to judge people. And I was like, you get what you ask for. So that kind of made me, you know, reflect on like, be careful what you wish for. Like if you ask for, like for example, if you ask for strength, the universe might give you more reasons that you need to be strong, if that makes any sense. So I kind of was reflecting on that, like, okay, be careful what you ask for. Oh, shh. Under self-care, I had like take care of my skin, and so I had this prescription lotion that I was starting to use finally the first week. The first week of January. Literally after my first use, I didn't even get to use it a second time. it flushed down the toilet. Yeah, the whole bottle, which was about this size, and it was prescription, minus the, it didn't have this little fan that might have helped it from going down, but it was just like a cylinder about this size, maybe a little smaller. Somehow it was just the perfect size and length that it managed to flush directly down the toilet. So I had just like used the restroom, I like flushed the toilet, it was already flushing, you know, it was already like almost done, and then I knocked it into the toilet by accident. I knocked my lotion into the toilet by accident, and I was like, crap, because you know, you don't like it when anything falls in. And then it just disappeared, and I was like, what? So a plumber had to come and like take it out, but point is I didn't get it back. So I have to go back and get that. So I haven't even been able to start my like skincare routine with my official prescribed lotion because it literally flushed down the toilet after my first use. So that's how some of my goals are going. But like I said, it's week 1, and I think the mistake that a lot of people make is like, okay, for example, let's say you set the intention to be vegan, right? Or the goal to be vegan in 2021, and then the first week goes horribly. You're like, well, too bad, can't do that goal this year. Why are we like that? Like, why is it like, oh, as soon as I fall off the horse, or as soon as I'm not perfect, that ruins the whole thing? That makes 0 sense. There's 365 days in a year, and who knows how many days left in our lifetimes. Probably a lot more than that, you know? So so the fact that we're just like, I fell off the horse, oh well, gonna wait till next year, it's like, why? Just start again. These weird ideas of perfectionism, it's like all or nothing mentality. It's like, oh, well, I broke my streak, I guess I have to wait another year before hopping back on. And it's like, why do we think like that? It really doesn't make any sense, as opposed to just hopping right back on, not even the next day, but just like immediately after, you know, if possible. I'm not feeling bad about the way that the year's going. I mean, it's been a week, but point is, like, even with like all these like kind of what I feel like is setbacks, like I've had fatigue, and instead of, you know, working out in the evening or working on YouTube, I played a lot of Jurassic World Evolution. I'm not gonna lie to you, that's what I did the first week of January, and it was fun. But I also am wondering, like, is it self-sabotage? Like, is this me self-sabotaging? There's a lot of things that I've been thinking and feeling and doing over the last week that I'm like, is this self-sabotage, you know? And maybe it is, or maybe it's just procrastination. I've had an interesting start to the year. I'm just trying to take it day by day and not be hard on myself. Okay, for lip, I'm gonna use this kind of brownish, goldish, nudish color. That's pretty much it. I think the only thing else I was gonna talk about, which I guess saving to the end, is weight loss, as one of my goals or part of self-care. So, you know, skip ahead or end it now if you're not interested in that. I know it can be a triggering topic, and there's so many different like perspectives on everything. And I am 100% in support of like, you know, body positivity and like, you know, loving all bodies, accepting all bodies. But I am also a believer that if you want to lose weight, you should be able to without feeling like you're somehow fat phobic. I don't know, that just doesn't make sense to me. It's like, if it's your body, you should be able to do whatever you want with it for whatever reason. Like, if you want to lose weight, cool. If you don't want to lose weight, cool. Like, why do we all have to project things on the other people, you know? For me, I think I've wanted to lose weight for a long time. I am now officially 100 pounds overweight. Well, I'm 100 pounds over what used to be my normal, officially. As of like yesterday, I weighed myself and I'm exactly 233 pounds, and I used to be 133 for like years and years. Like, that was my standard weight. And now I'm exactly 100 pounds over that, and it's the heaviest I've ever been in my life. And you know, aside from, I in my brain feel like I just look better when I'm smaller, and maybe that's just because it's easier to find clothes that fit, it's easier to find clothes that fit well. Maybe, I'm not gonna lie, maybe it is a little bit of like, not fat phobia, but maybe it is a little bit of like society standards and seeing how my body was closer to that before than it is now. It's also just like, I like my face better when I'm smaller. And I have a lot of issues with my face to begin with, so when I lose weight, I'm still gonna have issues with like my nose and like the bags under my eyes, you know? There's always gonna be something, right? But So I'm still working on loving myself unconditionally because I don't want it to be like that. I don't want it to be like, oh, I have these insecurities that really like interfere with my whole life. You know what I mean? Whether it's my weight or whether it's my nose or whether it's like whatever. I just don't want to feel it, and that's purely mental. Like that's purely mental or plastic surgery. Like there's no other way around it. You know what I mean? And I'm not against plastic surgery, but I definitely don't want to wait to have it until I'm like okay with myself, until I'm comfortable in my own skin. But that said, getting back to the weight thing, you know, it's been a goal of mine to lose weight pretty much since I gained the weight. But I don't know, food has just become such a huge coping mechanism, and honestly, all the weight that I gained has been synonymous with my working experience. Like once I like graduated from, and even while I was in college, like the last couple of years were super fucking insanely stressful because like an idiot, I was spending a lot of time in this student organization that just completely stressed me out because we were just doing the most. But you know, once I started to just get really stressed and overwhelmed with everything, food just became my coping mechanism. Also because I used to drink a lot more and I stopped drinking as much as I used to, so I think I just replaced it with food, honestly. So I think that's probably what was going on, really. But yeah, I've been wanting to lose that ever since I gained it, but I just like, I have made progress a few times. There's one time I got down to 170. There was one time I got down to 189, but my body composition that second time, even though the first time I lost more weight, my body composition was much different the second time because I was like going to the gym, I was working out crazy, I like gained a lot more muscle, and I could just see the difference in my body. Even though I didn't lose as much weight on paper, I saw it and I felt it. I made that progress. It all came crashing down every time I got really fucking stressed about different situations in my life and work, you know? So, so I haven't really been serious ever since that last time, which was now like exactly 2 years ago. Ooh. Like I've said it and I've started, but I have not been that level of serious since. I am kind of a fan of obnoxious lashes. Like to me, the bigger the better. But yeah, so I don't know. So that's pretty much everything. Once I get this last lash on, I could stop rambling. And I think we'll be done. I wanted to do some more experimental stuff. I feel like this was a bit experimental and I like it. So I'm gonna take this and run with it in the future. And it's just a little something, you know, but I like it. So I'm gonna add that to a future look and go even crazier with it because I don't have time to do that this morning. I have, roughly 15 minutes. So I should really get ready for work. I mean, I'm getting ready, but you know, get my coffee, get my brain ready for 8 hours of soap torture. Torture, just kidding, but kind of. And we are done. I think if I had, you know, a better situation with my hair going on, it would be better, but I'm pretty happy with it. Let's see if there's a better lighting situation. So that is it. This is the final look. I'm definitely going to build on this in the future, and I had a lot of fun with the little experimentation that I did. If you made it this far, you are amazing. And if you made it this far, please comment deranged poodle so I know it's real. And I will see you all in the next video. Bye!